What is going on, my friends? Welcome back to the Locks DFS NBA breakdown video for this December 19th NBA video. We got a 4-game slate on tap. Really nice game slate of games. Really just games that I'm excited to watch. And so, of course, I'm excited to gamble on them a little bit. Get on DraftKings, get in some contests. We're going to run through some of my favorite plays on the slate, including kind of how to attack these studs today, which is definitely the most complicated situation on the slate, in my opinion. If you guys don't know, of course, per usual, be sure to comment and subscribe for a chance. Like, comment, subscribe, and you'll have a chance to win a free season pass from locksdfs.com. We will pick that season pass winner. We'll be recording the Saturday football video tonight, and we'll pick the winner on that. So this is your last chance to get in there and comment and win that free season pass. You can pick a season pass of your choice, NFL, NBA, even though the NFL season is winding down. But yeah, with that said, I wanted to also mention that we are sponsored by PrizePicks. Don't forget that if you use code LOCKS on PrizePicks, you will be entered to win, or not entered to win. You will automatically get a 25% deposit bonus straight into your account. No drip, just straight into your account, straight to play on the site. Just got to roll it over once, and you can take it off the site. And you will also get a free pick 2 for $25. That again, a free pick 2 for $25 goes straight into your account. All you gotta do is use code LOCKS if you deposit. If you have deposited with code LOCKS before and you want to get back on PrizePicks, all you have to do is use that deposit and then let them know in this little bubble down here, this chat box on online that you're back and that you're playing again, and then you'll get that bonus and you will get that $25 free pick 2. With that said, let's get into the slate. So on PrizePicks, I want to talk about a few of my favorite picks. Before we get into the DraftKings, Gobert at 43.9. We're going to talk about him actually as my first play on DraftKings. I like him a lot. I think this is the over. I like the over on this one. I think this under on Rondo. I'd project him for a little bit less than this, especially as LeBron likely gets extended run in what should be a competitive game. I would say that I would expect him to be under there. I don't love taking unders, but that one's I don't feel super comfortable about. They expanded their under player pool in this game because there's only they expanded their player pool in this game because there's only 4 games. So it allows you to take some unders on some players that you usually wouldn't see on here. And then I would take the over on Kawhi. 46 in what should be a very competitive game where he should be closer to like 36 minutes is way too low on Kawhi. So love that number on Kawhi there at 46. I think he probably crushes that. So assuming it stays competitive against the Rockets, which let's go look at Vegas real quick. Like I said, just a super super awesome slate of games. Like I'm so excited for the basketball games tonight. Even this first game, the total's at 226. Atlanta should keep it paced up. The Jazz are a very efficient offense. Lakers, Bucks, obviously one of the best in the West, one of the best in the East. 226 total. This is going to be the lowest owned game for sure, and for good reason. There are some decent plays in this game still. But Brooklyn isn't super fast, especially without Kyrie, and the Spurs are going to slow it down a decent amount. They're in the mid-range there. Neither defense is terrible. They're both in the mid-range. It's just not a super appealing game, but one that there could be some fantasy value in. And then, of course, the Clippers and the Rockets, which is just going to be phenomenal. Hopefully that game stays close. Obviously, being in LA, doesn't help it as much. But okay, let's go ahead and get in the slate where I do really like Rudy Gobert. The thing I'm going to say about Rudy Gobert to start this thing off is that if you are playing Rudy, you are only going to be able to fit likely. If you get punty, you can fit 2 studs, but most likely you are going to be able to fit 1 stud, one of the LeBrons, the Kawhis, the Giannis, James Harden. If you play Gobert, you're only going to fit one of those guys. So it does change your construction quite a bit. But that does not mean that I don't love Gobert here. He gets a small bump without Mike Conley, who is out for this game, which should especially benefit him in this matchup against Atlanta, where the Hawks are top 10 in pace. The Hawks are 27th in rebounding. The Hawks are allowing more points in the paint than anyone else in the entire NBA. There is just no one down low that's going to be able to deal with Rudy Gobert. This is 6.5 point spread in Atlanta. I'm expecting 4 stints from Gobert. I like to see Gobert play really competitive teams. Honestly, even be small dog, because that means that he is going to have to stay on the court and play his minutes ceiling. But still, with this being a 6.5 point spread, he should be able to stay on the floor for the entire game, or for his normal stints. Joe Ingles and Bogdanovic also get small bumps without Conley. Bogdanovic is more of a usage bump. He's still got to end up making his shots, and he's also very expensive on DraftKings. So, I like Bogdanovic, and he's projecting well. This is a very good matchup. Pace up, bad defense. But I am a little bit concerned that he's just going to have to make like all of his shots here to hit value. That's concerning, and of course he can bust if he doesn't hit those shots. So I think there's a lot of I'm going to get to some of him, but it's not someone that I want to be like over the field on really. I'd rather save that money for other more exciting games. And then Joe Ingles should get some work at point guard, which makes his 6K price tag. I think he is at 6K price tag decent as well. He should see some back at point guard possibly. We're gonna see Mitchell probably run some point. I don't expect Moutier to start, but keep an eye out for that. They haven't done that, but maybe they will this game with no Conley. But okay. Going over, I'm just kind of talking about this mid-range first, and then we're going to talk about the studs at the end of the video. I'm not going to talk about them in depth, but I will give my take on them. Another guy in the mid-range, ending up very chalky right now, Dejounte Murray, 5.7K. He's started over the last 2 games. He's played 31 to 29 minutes. He's off that minutes restriction. This 31 came in an overtime game, so I think I'm going to put him around 28. That seems about right, 27, 28. As about a fantasy point per minute producer, now we have a spot where Murray not only establishes himself as a floor play, where because he's starting, he's going to be looking at 20 on a bad day, 26 minutes. As over a fantasy point per minute producer, about 1.1. We're looking at a floor of like 26 here, at least, and that's without the 0.1. That's just the 1 fantasy point per minute. We can pretty much rely on him getting 1 fantasy point per minute. He's got a floor of 26. You got to love that, especially in cash games. I think that's why his ownership is so high right now, because he is making sense for cash games. For me, I could see myself, and also the price has come down 400, even though he's still continuing to start, assuming that he is starting. For me, I could see myself fading a little bit of Murray in GBPs just because of the ownership, especially if that number does end up going up. I don't think it will, but if it does. And to get possibly more of the higher total games, getting more Clippers and Rockets, and guys that are also very, very good value there. I could see myself fading GPPs, but I do definitely love Murray, and I definitely think that he has a solid ceiling here. 5.7K is just not it's not a price tag that's too rough here, and of course it is a pace up matchup against Brooklyn, although not super pace up. But I don't think he'll be near my third highest owned player, but I also think he's someone that that I'll at least get some of, because I do see a ceiling here, but just not one. Not one that I think I need to jam in or anything like that. I think he's a good play. I definitely recommend him for cash. Lou Williams. Let's talk about all the Clippers, because honestly, the Clippers prices on the slate are probably the most notable part of the entire slate, where we have a Houston team that runs very far up in pace. Let's look if I have NBA pulled up right here. Let's go to advanced, and let's look at the pace here. Rockets second in pace. We have the top two teams in pace on this slate. So the Lakers are getting bumps. The Clippers are getting bumps. The Lakers we're waiting on the Anthony Davis news that will come out hopefully before lock, and that would change things a whole lot. For the Clippers, I love Kawhi. Like I said in the price picks, I love Kawhi because he's going to likely play a big allotment of minutes, and I just don't see how he doesn't get to 50 if he's playing 36 minutes. I mean, he's going to shoot a ton. He's going to grab a bunch of rebounds. He's going to grab a bunch of assists. Absolutely, he could go for 36 minutes in this game in what is expected to be a competitive game. Love him. But really what I want to talk about, and I like Paul George too, but really what I want to talk about is these 3 guys right here. Montrezl Harrell, Lou Williams, and Patrick Beverley. All of them are projecting very, very well in this game against Houston. Harrell got a price down. Lou Williams got a massive price down. We've seen him at 5,900 a few games ago when he was on this little slump. And then he has a 34-point game and then gets dropped all the way to 59. I'm not sure with Paul George and with Kawhi that Lou Williams has slate breaking potential. So, maybe for cash you do just want the safety of Dejounte Murray. But I do think that he does have I think he has upside for like 40 plus here pretty easily against Houston in a game where they're going to need a decent amount of shooting. lose of 1.1 fantasy point per minute producer already, who's played over 30 minutes. He's averaging almost 30 minutes in his last 4, and he's got a big pace up here. There's a lot that plays into Lou Williams here, and his price is very good. The shooting slump seems to be somewhat over. We went through this slump here, and now he's got 2 games back where he's shooting over 50%. I wouldn't be too concerned about that. And then, of course, Montrezl Harrell in a revenge game should easily play 30 minutes here. The price is down, and the matchup really fits Montrezl's playstyle well. You could definitely see a game like this in his repertoire, or in the outcomes here. Like, definitely wouldn't be surprised if that happened. And Trez is a guy who absolutely, you see the way that Trez plays. Definitely seems like the type of guy who's going to care about revenge. But we've seen him last year, and what he does in this matchup, just suits him so well. So, and then lastly, Patrick Beverley is really actually one of my favorite plays of the slate, especially for cash games. I just think at 4,400, you're taking very little risk. I think the floor here is around 18 points, and the upside here is around 30. And if you're getting a floor of 18 at 4.4K, I love that. And, Beverley, there's a lot of reasons to like him here. His defense is going to be critical to defend Russell Westbrook and at times James Harden, of course, and it's projected to be a pretty close game, so his minutes should be on the higher end. And at just 4,400, if his minutes are on the higher end, if you're getting to 30 minutes of Patrick Beverley here, he's going to project phenomenally. So really like Patrick Beverley. He makes a lot of sense to me, and someone that I would definitely be playing in cash games. The other side has some interesting value as well if we go over to Houston. No, I'm not talking about LA and Milwaukee as much as I maybe should be, but I'll touch on them here in a second. The Houston side, James Harden's going to be hard to get to. You're pretty much only going to play him in GPPs. That's just how it is. Capella is also projecting pretty well. Don't mind Capella actually in cash games. If you want to play him over Gobert, don't blame you. It is a higher total. But really, I'd be interested more in PJ Tucker and Daniel House as just interesting value. I'm going to be looking to these games primarily to get my value, depending on who Atlanta starts. Kevin Werder also could be a decent mid-range value of 4.9K. Don't love it, but he's solid. So these guys in these games are really where I'm looking to my value. Tucker has, minutes monster, not really going to let you down in a lot of matchups. His defense is going to be needed like it is every game. And he's just going to play big minutes. And at 4,700, you're not really taking much of a risk here to get to Tucker. Daniel House Jr., as long as McLemore isn't, last game we saw him play 27 minutes, and that was pretty much just, McLemore got hot from 3, hits 4 of 9, and it took away some minutes from House. That is just usually not going to happen. House is usually going to get those minutes. I wouldn't be too concerned about that. And if you're getting 34 minutes out of House, I know he's been disappointing down the stretch here this season, but this is a game where they're going to need him. They're going to need his production because Harden, they're going to clamp. They're going to put clamps on these guys as much as they can. So I think that these secondary pieces like House and Capella are going to be really important for them to compete in this game. And then one more GPP option that I'll mention that I think will be pretty much unowned, and I like to mention, just as long as Karis LeVert and as long as Kyrie Irving are out, I am going to have interest in Jarrett Allen every single day if he's 6.5K. At 6.5, the price is starting to get a little bit up, so it does limit the upside. Of course, the minutes can always be in flux. You got 35 here, but that was due to overtime, so 30 minutes really. But it's still 30 minutes. If you're getting 30 minutes out of Jarrett Allen here, he is about a 1.25 fantasy point per minute producer with no Kyrie and no Karis LeVert. San Antonio not really great in the paint, not anyone that I'm scared of in the paint, mid-range, and lowest total of the day, so he's not going to be owned. And I think he has upside to score 50 here, potentially do some big things, potentially outscore the likes, potentially, I'm going to put it into my range and get a little bit of Jarrett Allen because I think there is a chance that he could outscore Lou and outscore Montrezl Harrell. And of course, he is more expensive. But, if he outscores them, you probably have a little bit of a leg up there. And then talking about LA and Milwaukee real quick, LeBron James, if Anthony Davis is out, is my favorite stud of the slate probably. Probably Kawhi still, but it's close. It's tough to fit more than one right now unless you are really getting gross with your values. So, and outside, there's really just not a ton of value on this slate. Like Beverly, House, Tucker, it's just not very good. There's not a lot of guys under that unless you're, like Jeff Green as a start maybe or something like that. But even that would be pretty gross. So I'm not going to talk too much about the studs, but, in this game, there's, Milwaukee has a tough matchup. If Anthony Davis is out, you're going to be wanting to get to Dwight Howard. You're going to be wanting to get to JaVale McGee. At these prices, I would never play them together, but you're going to be wanting to play one of them probably. I would lean towards a starter who plays more minutes, who is cheaper, play similar minutes usually. Yeah, and then other than that, it's pretty tough to get these guys. You take maybe a shot on George Hill at 4.3K. He started to play a little bit more minutes now, but the upside for him is not really there. DiVincenzo, it's too expensive. Like, there's just not a lot in this game in terms of value like there is in Houston, LA. You're pretty much looking at LeBron. You're looking at Giannis. You're looking at if AD is out, Howard, and So Brook Lopez also. I will mention Brook Lopez 4.2K if he's playing. If he doesn't get in foul trouble and he's playing 26 minutes, it's a decent value here. 4.2K, it's the lowest we're going to see Brook Lopez really, and he's going to project pretty well at that price. And he ended up in some of my optimals when I first ran my first numbers. So, if I'm ranking the studs real quick, just to close out this video, I'd go Kawhi, LeBron James, Paul George, and then Giannis on the slate. That's kind of where I'm at right now. And then I'd go James Harden after that. So, okay. That will wrap it up. Thank you guys all so much for watching. Don't forget to check out PrizePicks. Use that code LOCKS on there, and you will be entered. You'll get that free deposit bonus, and you can use those picks I gave up at the beginning of the video. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and comment for a chance to win that free season pass. Thank you guys all so much for watching, and we'll see you guys back here next time. Peace. Good luck tonight.